Okay guys, so let's continue, right? So today is the first day. Just imagine today is our first class. Okay, so the things we're gonna do today, we're gonna cover today is Nextjs basic. Basically in the Nextjs basic, right, there will be a lot of things, but Nextjs fundamental in this topic. What is Nextjs? I think that is okay, right? You all guys know what is Nextjs, the React library for the full stack development, right? You can create backend and front end at the same library. Okay, so React library, that is all we know. We know how to create Next.js project with the TypeScript, right? We know that one already. Yesterday we did one project creation already, so that is the same thing. So the client and server component, right? So now tell me, okay, let's start from here. Okay, client and server component. So let's say this is the project, right? I have added. Let me close for now. Okay, so this is the Next.js fundamental project folder I have created, and I installed the Next.js, right? Next.js with TypeScript. Okay, if you look at the page here, see page TypeScript. Okay, so now tell me, right, what is server component and the client component in Next.js? Anyone want to answer that? Server component. When I say server component and and the client component in Next.js, how we understand, what is the our understanding level, right? What is server component? Or basically, yeah.
A server component is server-side rendered, and then the client component is basically the front end.
Yeah, so server component is what render in the server, right? Let's say I'm right now I'm just visiting google.com. Okay, for example, the client is what? I'm just visiting google.com, right? Google.com. So I'm the client right now, and this page what I see here is on the client side, but maybe there is so many things, right? This page may be created on the server already. So in the Google server, the page is created and they just send me the HTML things, right? But there is click now. So look at the click, right? I can click something. So when you have this interaction like clicking or hover, so I mean click, basically click, right? When you click something, uh, that is happening in the client side. Okay, client side. So in case of Next.js, in Next.js, right? See how we can understand now what is client and what is server side, right? So in Next.js, all the page is server page, everything, right? For example, let's say, let me clean this up. Okay, let me clean this up first. So I have not done anything yet. So let me just change here. I'll just maybe add main, and here what I will do, right? Okay, let's uh, learning mental of Nextjs, fundamental of Nextjs, right? Nextjs. If I go ahead and I just console log in the JavaScript, I can do that, right? Console.log. Uh, this is server. Okay. Now this console log, right, should display in server. And how we know that? Let me start the server first. Okay, in the development mode. So npm run dev, right? So the page, okay, there is some issue now. What is saying? Okay, something is wrong, right? Maybe I have done something wrong. Node modules, okay. public packages, and I don't know if I delete something. Okay, looks okay. So for now, what I will do, right, let's go back here in the app. There is a users ID, photo. Okay, all these are the folder structure. Fine.
Dev,
Yeah. Okay,
the pages that are open now.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. So
Okay.
Nextjs, right? cd Nextjs. Good catch. Okay. Now npm run development, right? Development. So I must be in that folder directory, right, to start the server. Okay. So now localhost 3000. Look at here. Until now I have not launched this website, right? So once I go to the browser by clicking here, you will see something happening here, so it's compiling now, right? And it gives some error, but it's okay. So even if there is some error, I don't know what was that, but look at this text here. This is server. This is running in server, right? So this is server, because we just run the server. Even it's my computer, right? But when we are creating this project, and we what we do, right, in the development, for the development of this project, there is a functionality, built inside that Nextjs project, which allow us to run the server, okay, within our project folder. So that is basically node, some kind of Node.js server is running here, right? So similarly, when we host our website, the server will be somewhere sitting, right? Wherever you're gonna host that website, there will be server, and hundreds and thousands of people is going to visit your website. So they are client, okay, right? So wherever you put this website, right now it's in my computer, but I'm just running the local server here, right? I'm just running the server. That's why it's localhost 3000, right? The port, and the server is running there. But even this local server is the same thing. It's the server, right? So something is running on the server and something will be running in the client. Okay, so okay, let me remove this gradient from the, so it will be in CSS app, global CSS, and body. I will remove this background. Okay, so now you're gonna see the change here. Okay, so learning fundamental of Nextjs, right? Fine. We can little bit let's put that in the center, right? So in the layout, remember we have this body, and you are displaying all these children. We know that already. Okay, so what is layout, right? Anyone? What is layout in the Nextjs? What is the purpose of layout file? So max width, let's give it 7XL, and MX auto, right? So layout is basically used for grouping things, right? Like creating the structure for your web page. Okay, like you have a nav bar which is going to be displayed all over the place in all pages. You have the footer will display in all pages, and only things will change is the page, right? So that will be added as a children. So the layout is basically, we can call it to make a group of page, right, or something to render at one place. Okay, so we will talk about the layout. I mean, again, I think it is in the already in the topic later, right? So that's fine. But if we look at page now, it should look something like this. Okay guys, all right, so now we were talking about server side and client side. So just make it note, right, all the pages are server side page. In Nextjs, when you create any page, let's say user, here is a user, right? In the user I'm going to create one page. Okay, so page.tsx, correct? And I'm gonna add the component, so react arrow function, right? And let's call it user page. We call it maybe users page, right? Something, yeah, that is fine. So this page is server page. Now if I just go ahead and put console log here, right, console.log, and this is user page, this is user page, simple, and save this and look at on here, right? So okay, so because we have not run this page yet, we created the user page, right, but we have not, because you have to call the page in the browser, you know. So how we do that? Because that is user route, right? Users. So user page, clear. And now you're going to see something in the terminal or in the server, the console log, this is user page. So by default, right, all the pages are server page in the Nextjs. Clear now? Everyone clear? Yeah, good to go. So if, right, let's say if you need to add the click, now you want to click something, you know, you want to click somewhere, right, button. So, or maybe you want to add some kind of React hooks. So we cannot do that in the server. We cannot do, right? So we need to have a client page, client. So how we make a client page? So that will be simply turn the same page into client. But normally, let's say, you know what's gonna happen, right? Let's say you have product page. In product page, you want to click on the button and add the product, right? For example, okay, let's create one product page also. So let's call here products, like that. Page.typescript, yeah, tsx, okay. And we call it product page, right? Product page. So this is a product page, and here you might have the product, one product displaying, right? And there is a button, say add product, okay, something like that, right? So let's create one button, okay, button, right, and add product. So if you want to click on this button, so we must go to the first we have to go to the product page, right? Products, and there is add button. See that add product, right? So when you click this, but we don't have the route, right? There is no events attached to that button yet. So that's why nothing happened, because when you click, maybe you want to go somewhere, right, and do something. So when there is some kind of click, because this is a client now, you want to click and do something, okay? So in that case, your page must be client page, right? So how you create a client page? So let's say this product page is displaying lot of products with lot of information, right? Lot of data. In that case, you don't want to make this whole page client page. You don't need to do that, okay? That is a bad idea, right? Because, you know, when you have a client page and you displaying so much information, maybe you fetching the data from API and then displaying all that what kind of issue problem gonna happen in the client page takes a lot of time, right, to go back to the, because how client page work, first HTML CSS JavaScript will display in the client, means somebody viewing the page, then he or she will make a click, right? Then if that click has to go and fetch data, what it will do now, it will go back to the server, fetch the data and come back again, right? So you don't want to do all that things in the client. Okay, maybe let's say you just want to handle the button, now you can separate this one only, right? You just separate this button part and make it client page. So for example, let's say here in the product, you just create a button component, simple button component like that, and something like that is okay, right? So here you just return the button, let's say add product, right? And here we're gonna make it this page, we're gonna make it client now. So still this is a server page, right? But we're gonna make this client by just putting use client. That's it. Now this become client page. Okay, and you can import this, right? You can just import, and we're gonna use it in our product page here. So we just extract that one small piece of code outside from the server, right, and make it client. So when the client clicks on the button or any action, right, that only small piece of code will be handled by the client side in the client computer or client page, right? The rest whole website will be still get ready in the server, and then the HTML page with all the data will be sent to the client. So that means, what is the benefits of having server page? Now we have to look at what are the benefits of server page. Data fetching, everything happens in the server, right? So the amount of data which will be loaded, right, or amount of time it will take to load the data in the client will be reduced. Client don't have to fetch all the data, then loop through that, then render and all that, don't have to do all that. So the loading time is very fast, and because the website is getting ready on the server and we are just getting the whole HTML only, so that means all the information for SEO handling, everything will be ready there in the server itself. So when the website is fetched or dispatched from the server, right, it becomes easy for the Google search engine to index the page, because you have all the information there already available. So SEO becomes very easy to handle SEO. The loading time speed ups, right, because things will be already pre-fetched also. There will be pre-fetching happens easily, so it feel like very smooth loading page, right, in the client. So everything happens in the server, wherever you host your website, right, lot of the work happens in the server. So that's why it's recommend only extract the small piece of logic, if that has to go to the client, like some kind of events, or if there is some kind of let's say hooks or something like that, right, we can put in the client. But I'm talking about server and client too much, right? Just remember there is two things. All the page is server, and when you put use client like this, that become client page. That's it. That is what you have to remember. Clear? And we will see during the work, right, when we start to work our projects, you will see when we're going to use the client page and why we keep most of them in the server. We'll see that. But right now just understand, in Nextjs all the pages are server page. In case if we need client page, we just add this code. Clear? That is all we have to remember, right? Okay, so let's look at our information here. So you can read also routing. Okay, so that is all page are server components in Nextjs. Use client, just to make a client page, right? So we just talk about that one. So let's talk about the routing and navigation now, right? Routing. So how routing happens in the Nextjs? Can someone want to tell me routing? What is routing in Nextjs, or how routing take place? Anyone? Routing, how we do the routing?
The routing, it takes place in the children. Like every page is in the children. I don't know, is it app.js? I forgot which component it is.
Okay, so let's go ahead, right? Okay, let's talk about that. So routing in Nextjs is based on file system. What that means, right? Let's say we have this app directory, correct? App directory here, that is app directory, and you decide now, right, how many pages you have in your website. Means how many pages. Let's say about page, contact page, maybe product page, correct? All the pages, right? You need routing for. So this is product page, see that? So localhost 3000 is the root route, and then the name of the folder, right? That's how we do the routing. So what is that means? If you go to the app here, when we just do localhost 3000, it will run this layout. Okay, so this layout has, this layout, right? This layout will run for every page. For every page. Let's not talk about that one. This layout is loading, right? For every page. Because this is the HTML. Look at this HTML. The only thing changing is this children. But how you gonna create the children, right? /product /user /something. How you gonna create that? The file base or file based routing. You just add the folder here, like let's say about, done. So you must to go to the localhost 3000 /about page. You must add the page here. That is mandatory. Okay, you cannot put mango.com. You cannot do that. Mango.html or maybe mango.tsx. It will not read. Okay, mango means nothing. Okay, you must have one page. That's the naming convention, right? There is the procedure, the standard we have to follow. So now your about page is ready. You just make it React component here and call it about page. So it must be together, about page. Okay, so that's it. So now the route, what is the route now? The route will be localhost 3000 / okay guys, I think there is something wrong, so I must share it. Okay, I think still share, right? Let me share it again. You guys can see me now? Hello?
I don't know if it's just me. I can't see anything.
Now is okay?
Yeah, I can see you, Dev.
I can see your screen, Dev.
Okay, good. Yeah, so the network issue. Okay, so I was talking about the routing, right? So routing in Nextjs is file based routing. Okay, and you just create the folder in your app directory, example about. Inside the about, you put the page.tsx and add the component and done. So now what we do is go back here and just click on the localhost 3000/about, and look at here, about page is here. So that is the routing, right? Routing. So we will talk about the routing later again, right? There is some details on routings, what are the things you're going to do, right? You know, so but for now, this is the simple routing concept we have to understand. Okay, everyone clear on routing now? So how you going to navigate now, right? How you going to navigate in the page? Navigation, right? How you going to add the navigation? So there is a component called link. Okay, link component. So let's go back here, right? And what I will do, you know, in here in the app, I will just add, maybe can I add component, or maybe I'll just add navbar, right? Let's add navbar here. Okay, and this is a navbar, and what I will call is nav, just call nav tag, and here will be maybe link from next link, right? And this is the logo, right? Logo. This will take us to the home page. Okay, so that is home page, right? That's the home page. So the routing, we understand the routing. Routing means folder and the page, that is routing. The navigation means navigating within the site. You want to go to another page, click, go to another page, right? You're gonna use link now. Clear? So now let's say you have another list here, right? And maybe you're gonna add some link. Can we do that? Li with link maybe, or just add the link. Let's say if that will work, right? Just add link here. So for example, if this is about, right, about page, you're gonna have the link href. So we have the about route already, correct? About, so that will be /about. See, slash is already the root, right? Slash will give you the root route, localhost 3000/about page. Similarly, we can add couple of more here. So we have users and we have products route. So we can call it users, and you can call this products. Okay, so we have this route. Let's do some styling also, little bit style, so it will look nice, right? So let's say height, maybe I will make it 26 or maybe 16. Let's make it flex, item center. Let's give some gap, right? So the gap will be space between maybe 6. Let's make it something like that. Yeah, now we have this UL, and make this also flex, and give some gap, maybe 6 also here. Good. So this is the nav bar. Okay, this is the nav bar, and it need to display in all pages. So how are you going to do that? That's the layout. The layout means you just create the layout or structure your website, right? How you going to structure, group things together, right? So normally this is the root layout. Okay, the layout is the root, like main layout, right? So we have to import that, our navbar here, somewhere here, import navbar, and we're gonna put it just above the, in the body, right? But just above the main. So navbar, good enough. So let's see how that looks now. So okay guys, let's check now. See, logo, about, users, product, right? So if you click on about page, we are in about. So if I click users, you see the user here, change, products, look at the product page, change. So we have navigation, but it's not in the center, right? Because we don't have this is not inside this main. Okay, so what we can do for now, just copy this class name and put it maybe there, right, in the navbar. Here we just add, so it will be center out also. Nice. Okay, I just leave the logo here as same place, right? Maybe we can say space, give it maybe 12. I don't know how much is that, but is that 12 there, space, x-axis, can we make it 48? Yeah, but it's okay. I just I mean, we can install this later, but I just want to add something there, right? That's fine. So what we learned so far: navigation, we understand navigation, and we understand the link. Done. So routing, right, and navigation. And in the navigation we learn about the link, and the routing is the Nextjs has whole file-based routing, right? Routing, this one, this is the route, that's the route, right? Root route and the product route, about route, that's the route. Clicking here, that is navigation, navigating between the different pages. Clear now? I think that's very much clear now, right? I hope everyone is happy about that now. Okay, let's move to the next step. So what is next now, right? Let's look at that. So we already, okay, so now rendering environment, right? Client and server. Client and server, right? So client means the web browser, right? That is Node.js. Or server means the server is created with a Node.js, right? Server runs in our computer. Server is just a computer, right? So guys, this is when I wrote this one, right? Maybe somewhere there is a spelling mistake, so just ignore that. Okay, this morning I was writing very fast and maybe I did some mistake. I don't know, I did not get time to check, but I think it should be fine. Rendering environment, client and server, right? So our page in our website renders in the client and in the server, right? Means it's get ready in the server, render in the server, and from there the page will be sent to the client. I mean, the end goal is sending the website to the client, right? But it prepares, get ready in the server itself. Okay, so there is two things you have to remember: client side rendering, right? So what that means, client side, CSR, client side rendering. Client means somebody viewing the page. In the React, what we used to happen, right? We used to see in the client side, we used to fetch the data and then we render everything there, right? Basically you loop through the data and display in the, we used to handle a lot of things in the client, okay, in the React. So the issue with the client, right, client side rendering is large bundle, means you're fetching a lot of information, lot of data, right, in the client computer. That is resource intensive, means you have to get a lot of resource and put together in the client computer. So that is time taking, slow process and all that, right? Even it happens quick, but still is slower than the server rendering, right? No SEO, because you mostly have JavaScript in the client, right? In the client handles things with JavaScript. Okay, so what client gonna see, right, in the back end? I mean, when you render something in the client, there will be mostly running the JavaScript. So because it is already in the client, right, it does not the SEO and all that things does not get ready for indexing in the Google, right? Means it's difficult to handle the SEO things, less secure, right? So in the client you cannot, like API keys and all that things, it exposed directly, right, in the browser. Okay, if you handle things in the client, there is security problem also. So same thing with the server side rendering. What is the benefit now? So because everything is in the server already, client don't have to worry about large bundle of the files downloading and this rendering and all that. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. Wherever we host our computer, that server will take care of everything, right? Client don't have problem. So less bundle, SEO friendly, is easy to handle all the SEO because the user, right, or client is getting just the HTML page, like a ready-made burger, right, to eat. Everything will be ready on the server and they will just send you the page. Okay, secure, more secure. So because all the APIs keys will be already saved inside the your hosting site, right, already they're securely added in the somewhere in the secure location. In the when you host, they will give you the place, right, where you can add all your API, the environment variables, all the keys. Okay, any password, any API keys, all that you can store there safely. So resource will be, I mean, this word was like basically, let's say, resource intensive, so we can call it efficient, right? More efficient, to handle all the resource. API keys are already stored in the server, so we don't have, there is no chance of leaking that one somewhere in the in the browser, right? So less interactivity, right? I mean, there will be very less, this will be less. See that I told you I did some mistake here, right? Less interactivity, means when the pages are getting ready in the server, right, if there is not too much interactivity, like there is no clicks, no any events, nothing, right, in the page, then we can call it less interactivity, right? Less activities. Okay, so I will change that one. Okay, so server component cannot listen to the browser. So what is the disadvantage of now there is some disadvantage also, right? Running the page in the server, there is some disadvantage. What are they? Server component cannot listen to the browser event. Let's say you want to add some event on click event, something like that. So server component cannot handle. So you must create separate component now. Remember what we did with the button? So wherever we need client activities, we add one separate component. Okay, if there is we have to use browser APIs like set timeout. What is a browser API? Remember set timeout, fetch, and there are a couple of the browser APIs, right? In our browser there are some API. So in that case you must have a client. You cannot maintain the state, right, in the server component. If you have to use any hooks, React hooks, use state, use effect, you cannot do that in the server component. So with this one, right, what you have to remember is if there is any hooks used, or let's say any event, browser events, we must make our page client page. Clear on that? So this is just some just like theoretical things you remember. So most of the page we can put in the server, right? Like nav bar, sidebar, product list, product card, pagination, footer, everything we put in the server component. So we just extract the component which need client side action, right, or dealing with the hooks to be rendered in the client. That is all, So okay, fine. So up to here, clear everyone? Basically we have gone through just easy stuff what we have done already, but still, right, refreshing, like understanding. Okay, this will help to just clear out some doubts, right? You did the work, we do the work, sometimes we just do the work but we just don't realize exactly what is happening, right? So that's the thing I'm going to clear out on the basic part here. Now let's move to the data fetching. Very important, data fetching, right? So So if you have in the React, what we used to do, right, when you fetch data, that is already in the client, like in the client, because React does not have the server built in, right? So everything happens in the browser. Okay, we used to use effect, use state to hold the data, and maybe React query, right? Also there is some advanced query to get the data now in React. That is the things we use. Fetching data in client comes with a lot of issue, right? Again, same thing, large bundle size, resource intensive, no SEO, less secure because API key exposed, extra round trip to the backend. Because when you're fetching data in the client, after the client page loads, it has to go back, right, to fetch the data in the server. Again, then that data will be come back to the client, and then you display. So that is like round trips, going to the server, coming back again. So that's why these are the issue. But with the Nextjs, we don't have that problem. We are fetching data directly in the server. All right, so let's do the data fetching, right, in the server now. So when you guys just the key points, right, the key points is here. Okay, when you, because I said you must master this, right, memorize everything what we're learning today, like the keyword, routing, navigation, you just understand it. Okay, that keyword, right, what that means, simple way, understand it. Okay, data fetching, all that terms, right, terminology, you must have the proper understanding. Okay, so, and just ask me, right, if anyone still have any doubt whatever we have studied so far, or whatever I explained, right. If there is something not clear, let me know. Now we move to the data fetching in Nextjs server. Okay, so what we can do, let's go back here. We have the user right here, user. So there is a page, user page. Okay, so let me delete this. Now I want to get the data. So what we're gonna get, right? Let's see. I think we can use the let's go back and find JSON placeholder. Okay, so here is user, right? Let's look at this user. So if you look at this API, what you see is it returns the array and it has object inside, ID, name, username, email, right? So we'll just, for now, we'll just take this name and email and display in the page. Okay, and there is the ID. Maybe we have to, when you loop through the array, right, rendering, when you rendering data, we must add the key to our each item, right? So yeah, I believe, let's say, okay, this is closed, this is the one object, right? And then you start again, next object somewhere. No, up to here is one object. So even there is some sub object, right, like say child object inside the main object also, but let's not worry about that, it does not matter. We just think one object, and from there we just get name and ID and maybe the email, right? These are the few items we're gonna extract. So this is the API key. And how we fetch data, right? I don't remember, let's check here. I mean, I added the code right here, so we can take this. It's same thing, in the, if you go to the Nextjs, right, and data fetching, this is routing. So go back to data fetching here. So either we can, what we can do, we have a function, remember, you can add the function separately and then just return the data from there, right? We know all this. This is a TypeScript. Now we're going to use TypeScript. Okay, so we can do this. Okay, let's do this, right? Or can I just write it, if I'm fetching data here in the user page function, so call it maybe fetch user, like that. So this will be async, right? Async function. Okay, now here, so const user, or maybe response, right, equal to await and fetch, correct? We call the fetch function, and we have to pass that link. So this link we have to pass, right? So that in our case we have this JSON placeholder here. So let's pass this. Good to go. So when you have this response, you can check for the error. Okay, so that error will be if response.ok is not true. So it's here somewhere. Yeah, you can just use this one. So we are learning how to fetch data. Okay, most of the time you will do the same thing, right? If you do not receive the data, it will throw the error and done, right? Done. But now I just want to return this data. Okay, so how are you gonna do that? Return res.json. So whatever response you have, right? Dot, I don't know why. Okay, maybe I'm outside of somewhere, outside of the function. Okay guys, sorry, I put in the wrong place. So here we just do return res.json, and because this is asynchronous, we must put await, right? So adding this await, what happened now, right? This line will not execute until this has been done. We know that already. We studied that in JavaScript. And then after this, once we have data, it will run here and then it will go here, right? Return is final part, but it's already done. Here is data already, or maybe something error, whatever, right? It's there. So that's why when this return, we're gonna get that data return back here. How are we gonna use that now? So this is the response. The problem now, right? This is the array, correct? This is an array of data. I mean, we can console log here. Let's console log. Or because we need to add a TypeScript also, So let's do const user equal to, again, because we are calling this fetch user function, we must make this asynchronous. Okay, async, and here await, and call it fetch user. So the point is, how we're going to add our we must specify the type of data, right? What are the things we're going to get from this response? So let's check now. I think I added here. So we can define the interface or type maybe. So let's do that. I will copy this and just add it here on the top. So remember, start what I did, right? Type, and you call the type user equal to, and then object, and then maybe ID. So ID will be number, right? Number. Then you have maybe name. There is a name, right? So that will be string, and there will be email, correct? We're gonna get email also. That is also a string. So that's the one way, right? You just define the type of the data you're gonna use in your code right now. but the other way is interface. Okay, so that's the one. So I'll just copy this. But when we use interface, we don't put the equal sign. Okay, we don't have to add equal sign here. We no need to do that. Interface and ID and name, right? So yeah, name. Let's put the email also. Maybe email also. I mean, okay, fine, right? That's fine. So if I have to display now, right, this one, how am I gonna do that? So let's look at now. Our data is here, right? That's the users data. That is this data is what? This is the array, correct? Array. If I console log now, let's console log, right? Console dot log users. This is a server, okay, server. So we must see in the server now. Save this, and you're gonna see something. But this page has to load, right, to get the data. So that's the user page, correct? Let's go back here, and I click on the user now. I click on the user, and you're gonna see the data must load here. Okay, I don't see. I don't know why. Yeah, somehow I don't see the data loading, right? Console.log users. I don't know why, but it should load, right? Anyway, so let's do one thing. How you gonna define the types here, right? So right now types is any. Look at here. If I bring the cursor here, any, right? But our data is the array. So I will put here, and my types is user. So I will just call user type, and that is array. So in the array, you know what happened in the array, right? In the array we have this object, okay? This object, it will be something like this, and that each object has ID, correct? And also there is a name, and there is also email, right? Email. So right now I just need ID and name, you know, I don't need too much, right? You can define more properties if you want to use, but you have to define it now here. If you want to use, you must define it. You must define in the type, right? You must define here, okay? Whatever in variables we're going to use, we must put in the type. That is requirement. Okay guys, save this, and yeah, so finally, right, we get the data. Look at here. So we have ID and name, so we can display now easily, you know. So let's do that. So what we're gonna do here, because we have the data users, you know how to display now. You know, we can users dot map, and then you're gonna add this arrow function, and let's go back here. So now, right, I'm gonna do a list of items, or maybe, yeah, so let's do the list of item, right? Li, and here we say a user. See, soon I put dot, right? See, I get, look at this, ID and name. Look at that, because I just require 2 items, right, in my types. So that 2 is giving me, you know, like hint, right? Okay, you have 2 items, you can use it. I just want to use the name, okay? And I will put here key, that will be user dot ID. All right, so we have, you know, fetched the data. Let's see. Look at here, guys. About, if I go to the user, I'm getting this user now. Okay, so that is data fetching, right? That is data fetching. everyone clear on data fetching now? Okay, that's the data fetching. So let's look at the next step now. What is the next step? So what is caching now? What is caching? Caching, right? Caching. What is the meaning of caching? All right, so what happened now, right? When we fetch the data in Nextjs, by default that data is stored in our memory, okay, as a file. It's just memory, file system, and network, right? So basically the data is stored in 3 different locations, either in the memory or somewhere in the file, right? You just make a file in the computer somewhere, and in the network means somewhere in the server, right? Somewhere outside, maybe you're getting data. So if something is in the memory, right, see the graph is, if something you have to get from memory is very quick, like variables, right? If you have JavaScript variables, it's there in the memory, okay, it's quick. File system is little slower, but it's still fast, right? So in the caching, what happened, when you fetch data, let's say what we did just now, right? Here we just fetch the data, okay? So what Nextjs has done, right, it has cached that data already in our computer. It's already there in a computer store somewhere, right? So no matter what you're gonna no matter how many times you refresh, you're gonna get the same thing, okay? So here it's there now, right? You refresh, it's there. This data will be not blinking, it's there already in the computer, right? It's so quick. I click user again, it's there, okay? It is not going to the server and get data. It's cached already in the computer, so it's very fast, okay? It is done by default. Yes, you can control the cache also, right? How? That's the point, because you don't want to cache all the time. Let's say if your server, you have a database which is updating all frequently, right? You adding products, you doing something else in the server all the time, somebody adding information. You don't want to cache, right? Maybe you want to update the loading, maybe after some time, maybe 10 second, 15 second, every 10 second you want to refresh, refetch all the data, or you want to, every time somebody click on the button, right, you want to get the new data all the time. So these are the way you can control the caching. So let's look at few things here. So caching is what again? Storing data somewhere that is faster to access, right? The data is stored somewhere in the computer. When you open the website, if there is data fetching, that data will be stored in your computer somewhere, right? Okay, and next time when you try to get the same data, it will just, the system will automatically give you the same data from there, very quick. It will just, it just know what to get, right? It does not go to the server and get again, no. Okay, let's do one thing now, right? So what I will do here, right, let's go back, and so how you gonna control the caching, so let's say this is our URL, right? And what we can do is, you just have to pass the object like that, and cache, you can make it, this is object, okay? So now there is couple of, look at default is the cache is by default. Force cache means you telling forcefully to cache the data. No cache, no store. So if you put no store, right, means that's it, there is no caching, okay? This means no caching. And how we gonna know, right, if this is caching or not? How we know? I mean, how we gonna experiment with this? So there is, I think, we have to build the page and try to understand all that, right? That will take longer time. Okay guys, so I think we have to do that. No store, you can do the validation. If you have to get data every 10 seconds, you know, you can do this revalidation. Basically, you know, you can take this out and say next, and you add another object and say revalidate after every 10 seconds, you know. So that means every 10 seconds it will try to fetch the data again, the new data, right? But if you access the within the 10 second, if you access the page within that 10 seconds, then you are getting from the cache. But after 10 seconds, you're gonna get the new data. So that is how you control your caching. Okay, I think let's, you know, my goal was to do a lot more, but I think, you know, at least today, right, just try. This is the first class, so just try to memorize it, what we have done now, right, at least. And maybe even it will take 2-3 days, right, 4 days is okay, but we're gonna go through all the important requirements for our project, okay? And I want to make sure on daily basis you memorize it. If you do that one, 100%, I'm telling you, right, you will be successful in a month or maybe 3 weeks time. You will be in different level, okay? Because we do the projects, you did a lot of work, and still, like, we all feel like, okay, there is a dark cloud, right, in our head. We cannot do something, right? It's just our memory is like faded out, okay? We cannot do something. But let's change that pattern. On daily basis, what we learn, practice and repeat many times, okay? Repeat few things only, you know. It looks a lot, but we have done only few things, right, today. So you have to understand routing, navigation, client and server component. You know how to create projects, okay? Data fetching and caching, right? That is all. So static and dynamic rendering, I think that is part of caching also, right? So we'll just look at tomorrow. Okay, so, you know, then after, yeah, so once we finish that one, so yeah, so there will be accessing and query string parameter. I mean, we're gonna move to the next step, right? Routing and navigation, you know, that's the next topic, routing and navigation in details, okay? Because you're gonna have a routing with the ID, like dynamic routing with ID. You're gonna have routing with the maybe the query string parameters. These are very important, okay? So we're gonna have tomorrow, we're gonna take maybe 1 day to finish all this routing. So this, whatever learned so far, and this will be very important. Tomorrow we're gonna look at the Redux UI. This, how you're gonna add the Redux UI in your basically in your project, the Redux UI library. This very simple. We can implement maybe 5 minutes tomorrow, and then move to this part. All right, guys. So thank you very much, and please memorize it. Okay, what I'm saying is memorize it. Your goal is not to start looking so many things, right? Spend our time, memorize what we have done. If you're done, then you do whatever you want, right? Maybe you go back and practice JavaScript again, because still the test is there. So, but spend 1 hour, at least 1.5 hours, and memorize, repeat, put a lot of hard work, okay? Force yourself to get through, right? Because we have to get into the habit, and for next 3 to 4 weeks, I can say. All right, I will stop here now. I know it's too much, right? If I keep talking for 1 hour, maybe you guys get bored, you know. So it's okay. It will be not like this always, you know. You have to just take it for some time more. I will just put this. This is online, right? So I send you the link of the GitHub, and I'm gonna post this video also. So let me stop here. Yeah, and the Santana also, right? Santana, you're gonna do the same thing. If you need help installing the Nextjs, let me know. But I believe you know already, right? But if you need help, just let me know. I will help you out. Okay. And Polly is here. So Polly, you want to say something?
Yes, well, I'm back online. Sorry, guys, I told Dev my brand new 3-year-old laptop died on Sunday, and they said they can't fix it. So now I'm on a temporary machine. I had to carry over mails and documents. You all know about that, so it's dreadful, but I'm sort of up and running. I wanted to check in with you guys about your readiness to write the JavaScript exam. What was your thinking? I said end of this week, maybe. How do you feel?
Personally,
Yes,
End of this
no.
week.
End of this week?
On my part, I still feel like I'm not prepared.
Should we do another week? I don't
Yeah.
mind. Should we? So not end of the, because I don't want everybody writing too far apart. So let's aim for next week then. Better?
Yeah. So there will be weekend,
Yes.
2 days. Yeah, 2 days
Yeah.
off. You guys can and spend some more time.
So should we say next week, Thursday, Friday?
Yes,
You
please.
can go in the morning, because your class only starts at 10. So if you can get a slot at like 8, 9 o'clock.
no problem.
And
Yeah.
then you guys must please have a look. I mean, so Microsoft, so you can find it at a Pearson VUE testing center or a Certiport. I'm not able to book for all of you. It's much easier if you just get a booking at a place close to you, and I'm just going to give you your exam code, and then you just go right. Okay. So once you've registered, please send me a screen grab to show that I've registered. Here's the time and date I'm writing, and then I can send your exam code to you. Okay. So we're aiming for next week, Thursday, Friday. Everybody happy?
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what I will do
Thank
also,
you.
yeah, I will do. I mean, we're not gonna like what we're gonna move. We're gonna just. I will spend even less time because I'm not gonna take too much time teaching, right? Let's you guys still take your time practicing JavaScript. It's okay. You know, even let's say, you know, like after finishing our course, right? Even if there will be needed 1-2 weeks extra time, I will be here. Okay, so you guys can work with me, that is fine. Only thing is you're not gonna get paid, okay? And even I will not get paid, right? But still we can work together, okay? So we will cover, because I want everyone working after the completion of this course, right? We want everyone in the Fiverr and in the Upwork, right, with profiles and you know, applying for a jobs on daily basis and all that, okay? So that gonna happen in 4 week time, okay? We have 4 weeks. I can say once we complete this project, everything will be 100% you know, like comfortable to start the work. So we'll start applying for the process of applying jobs and, you know, creating profiles in Fiverr and Upwork and all that. So I'm not gonna push. We're not gonna go so hard, like spend too much time teaching. We're just gonna take little bit, maybe small piece of work, and you spend 1 hour, just memorize that, and then the remaining time you practice JavaScript. Okay. Even if you do that one, it's still okay, right? 1 week we can take time and complete this basic requirements, and then we're gonna move to the projects. Okay. So let's keep it like that. I don't want to stress out too much, right? That's fine. So that's what we're gonna do. So I just want you guys, I know, yeah, put more your hard work with the JavaScript if needed, right? So yeah, guys, please continue with your work. I will upload the video in YouTube, and then just add in the same readme file, right? It will be in the top of the page. Okay, means wherever you see the content, same page on the top, you're gonna find the video tutorial for our today class. Okay, Polly, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. And guys, I'll quickly.
You you are muted. You are muted.
Probably muted.
Sorry, my earphones aren't working. I said I'll draft an email and just remind you guys to do a screen grab for me once you do your bookings. Okay, so I'll send that out now. Dev is frozen.